What's going on, guys? Welcome to our random video on the channel. Shout out to everyone subscribing to the channel, liking the videos. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Golden State Warriors, some Cleveland Cavaliers, even about Russell Westbrook because he might win the MVP. And actually, I want to start this video and talk about Russell Westbrook because it looks like he could win the MVP. And for some of you out there that were saying, hey, you know, it should really be Harden, it's not that I didn't think James Harden was having a great season because obviously it was between Westbrook and Harden. But I really thought Westbrook was the most impressive with all the triple doubles. And yes, it does say a lot about him having the ball often with that team, but he is the leader of OKC. So I think it makes a lot of sense for him to win the MVP. I don't think that him and Harden should be like co-MVPs. I don't think that makes any sense. So the MVP should really go to Russell Westbrook. That does not mean I'm rooting for Russell Westbrook in the playoffs because you guys know I'm rooting for the Warriors. And by the way, the Warriors are playing awesome basketball. Really, it's team ball. They're playing team defense. It's really impressive. The one thing that I don't find that surprising, though, is that a lot of people out there are saying, hey, what's going to happen when Durant's on the team? Durant is great for offense, also on defense also, because he has a lot of ability in the paint. When Durant adds that additional offense, and you see how the Warriors are right now, the Warriors could be even better. And that's why they didn't win the championship last year. Yeah, it had a lot to do with Draymond Green getting suspended, all that kind of stuff. But I'm talking about the Warriors right now and the team that they have. And the team that they have right now without Kevin Durant, it is a good team. But to say that they're not going to be better with Kevin Durant is ridiculous. And to say that he's going to ruin, you know, like the team chemistry or whatever, I just don't agree with that. As you guys have saw last year and then this season, Kevin Durant has been a really great addition for the Warriors. And I think for people out there that don't watch the team, because Kevin Durant left OKC, you guys don't really appreciate the fact how he went to the Warriors. I don't agree with you guys, but I get why people say stuff like that. But at the same time, he's going to be awesome for the Warriors when he's ready to play for the team. And I'm saying that the team itself is playing playoff basketball. And if you compare that to the Cavaliers, I watched that game versus Indiana when they won in double overtime. There's something about LeBron James, and it's no offense to him, but we're talking about LeBron James in the NBA. And there's also an arrogance there because he even said recently, you know, I've been in the NBA finals like 7 times or whatever. And he's trying to say like that makes him like fantastic. But you're 3 for 7 in NBA finals. You know, that doesn't make you the best. I know a lot of people think that LeBron James is the best, but just as far as like who I think is the best, it's Michael Jordan. Of all time I'm talking about. And then currently in the NBA, you have to say Russell Westbrook is having the best season of anyone in the NBA. Although I would say right now, if you've been watching Steph Curry, that's right, Steph Curry out there, he's playing playoff basketball. And he's really getting his shots from the perimeter. So to say that LeBron James is the best in the NBA, I just don't agree with that. You know, he's trying to say how regular season games are not that important because someone asked him about it. You know, they were asking him because the Cavaliers, they look like a mediocre Eastern Conference team. You know, as far as the Eastern Conference, I can say that LeBron James is one of the better players in the Eastern Conference. But if we're talking about an Eastern Conference where the regular season games are an example of who the better teams are out there, because you can't just say that the regular season means absolutely nothing. Teams should not lose throughout the regular season in any sport and then go into the playoffs and say, okay, now we're ready to win games. I just don't agree with that. I really don't. And I would also say, when LeBron James talks about the regular season and says, hey, look at how many times I've been to the NBA Finals. Yes, you've been to the NBA Finals a lot, but you didn't win each time. So you have to talk about that also. It's a weird conversation. People do not want to talk about these things about LeBron James. It's like, hey, that's LeBron and he's the best and this or whatever. But you're not talking about what's actually going on during the games. Like James Harden is another example of this because with James Harden, he is a good player. I mean, he can ball. But if you've seen him flop, which he was flopping against the Warriors, you guys out there that you root for the Warriors, and even other people that root for other teams, if you're watching these games, you can't say that you don't see James Harden flopping. And he flips his head back when he shoots the ball. What is that about? Really, what is that about? You can say other players do that, but James Harden in particular, he does it a lot. And it's really interesting because it looked like he was doing that similar to when LeBron James starts doing that kind of stuff when the team has to try to get back into the game. You know, that's not the way to get back into the game. You got to play good basketball. That's what you got to do. You can't make excuses. You can't be looking at the refs for help. And it happens a lot with these teams. And I'm saying, as someone that roots for the Warriors, just the other teams, they're going to be doing that during the playoffs also. They're going to be looking at the referees and yelling about all sorts of stuff. And what I would like to see is that if the referees do not want to call all the fouls, which during the playoffs they often do not, especially if they're going against Steph Curry and Steph Curry is getting fouled, I'm sure that when the fouls start going the Warriors' way, you're going to have people out there start complaining, including during the games. It has to be somewhat equal. Now, it's not a perfect recipe where the referees can make it exactly equal for both teams, but we saw things last year which were not fair to the Warriors. And yes, I am saying that as a Warriors fan. So if people say, hey, you're just saying that as a Warriors fan, of course I am. Because it's not fair if you have the referees being one-sided, because the home team has that advantage. It shouldn't be that way. And I really think in the situation with the Warriors or even the Cavaliers and other teams out there that are going to be in the playoffs, the star athletes, if they're the ones that are complaining all the time, and it happens a lot with LeBron James, then you have James Harden that was complaining too. These guys, when they start complaining, it's all about getting additional help for their own team. That's what it's about. You'll notice that the Warriors, they do not often complain. Besides Draymond Green really getting angry. If you want to talk about Draymond Green as a leader, you have to talk about his shooting ability, also the ability to motivate his teammates. He can drive the net. He can hit clutch shots. He could shoot somewhat from the perimeter, not all the time, but he has a very versatile game. He has a lot of skill, and he's not just someone that fouls people. That's not what it's about for Draymond Green. So I think the Warriors, in their situation, playing playoff basketball, they're going to have Kevin Durant back on the team. That team looks amazing. I'm rooting for them to win the championship. If they win the championship, it's going to be awesome. That team plays a style of basketball that's a lot of fun. And there's no excuses. This is the part of the season where you have to play your best basketball. LeBron James, he said stuff, but the way he goes about saying it, like trashing his teammates or whatever, which he won't stop doing, because I think he thinks at this point, he's beyond all that. Like, if someone asks him a question like, why you guys are losing? It's not about me. It's about them. LeBron is easily able to do that because he's won some championships. And notice how I say some championships. Again, he's not perfect. When you talk about the Warriors, I just think the Warriors have such a different attitude towards the game right now. You look at the Warriors. They didn't win last year in the finals. Look how they're playing basketball right now. They do not have Kevin Durant, but they added Kevin Durant, and they figured it out. And that's because they have great leadership on the team, and that includes Steve Kerr. So compared to the Cavaliers, who are fighting a lot, and no, it doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to win games because they're fighting, because teammates fight. I get it. They argue. But we're talking about two different teams, and I think the Warriors are the much better team, not just about the regular season. I think the Warriors, and Steve Kerr especially, is going to be prepared. When you saw the Warriors going against the Spurs, with this team, and the way Steve Kerr coaches the team, even without Kevin Durant, are proving that they are a playoff team. Now, with the Cavaliers, there's a lot of frustration with the Cavaliers, and I really think it has a lot to do with LeBron's teammates, because it's a team sport. So if you see LeBron's teammates out there and they're arguing with him or whatever's going on, and there's that kind of animosity where LeBron goes to the media and starts saying things about them, and they don't really have that opportunity because they're not LeBron James. So if he says something, it's not like they can go out there and say something and everyone's going to listen in the same way. But when LeBron says something, everyone listens, and it's like, hey, what is LeBron talking about? And I also think, as far as Tyronn Lue, I don't think would be called the leader of that team necessarily with LeBron James there. He's the coach. I don't think people would say, you know what, the first person you would say is the leader of the Cavaliers is Tyronn Lue. And when you have that situation and you have someone saying things about teammates and everything, which is LeBron James, then you're starting to talk about the similar situation where you have LeBron James and whatever coach it is, and he's being the most vocal, criticizing teammates. And I think when that happens, the team gets confused. And if you notice with the Cavaliers, there's a situation there where it's almost looking like Kyrie Irving, who's getting the ball a lot, is probably just as much as a leader to that team during the game. And I'm not talking about just yelling at your teammates. I'm talking about who's shooting the ball the most, who's getting the ball, who's asking for the ball. A lot of times it is Kyrie Irving. So with the teammates seeing that, I'm not sure if they appreciate that. Actually, it looks like because Thompson was arguing with LeBron, the team as a whole is just getting annoyed with him. And I'm not saying that that's going to be the reason why they don't win a championship. I'm rooting against the Cavaliers because I'm rooting for the Warriors, but whatever. A lot of people probably think there's a lot of arrogance with the Cavaliers. And you can't say that with the Warriors. People try to say that about the Warriors. They're playing great basketball, and they acknowledge it. So they're having a great season, another great season. And with the Cavaliers, I don't really think that they won the championship last season in a way that they're guaranteed to win another championship. How would you? Because last season, during the finals, a lot of things happened throughout that series, and that's what happens throughout the playoffs. You don't know what's going to happen. It's the NBA playoffs. But what I would like to happen is for the Warriors to win the championship. They're balling. And with Kevin Durant not on the team, you're seeing guys like Iguodala, who always balls, but you have Draymond Green, Iguodala, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, even West, you have McGee, that are just balling out there, and they're trying their best because, you have also a situation where Kevin Durant was contributing a lot of points, and when you have a teammate like that adding a lot of points, you have to have your character guys on that team contributing. And when I see Iguodala in recent games, and at important parts of the game, he's contributing because that is a team. That is not just one person trying to get the ball all the time. And it's not going to be the team against Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant might want the ball. It's not about that. And I think when people say stuff like that, again, it's because they probably do not watch the Warriors often. There's something really impressive about the Warriors. Their fans, if you watch a game and you might see the intermission at an arena, and this goes for a lot of basketball teams, but I am talking about the Warriors, that's a lot of motivation for a team that always wants to compete. And I think the Warriors have that. It is something unique. Not all the teams have it out there. You might watch a game out there in the NBA or another sport where not many people would even watch the game or go to the arena. And that's not like that with the Warriors because it does compare to when the Bulls were winning championships or even the Showtime Lakers. Before the Bulls were really good, it was the Showtime Lakers. But for me, the team that I watched that was really celebrated like that were the Bulls with Michael Jordan. So when you have a team like that, of course, it's noticeable. So with the Warriors, the way their team is playing basketball, the way their fans are celebrating their team, it's awesome. It really is. It's a lot of fun to watch if you're rooting for the Warriors. I'm sure you guys know that if you're watching the Warriors, if you're a fan of the Warriors, you're part of DubNation, shout out to DubNation, that team is awesome. So that's what I think about some of the teams in the NBA, of course, including the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James or even Steph Curry and the Warriors. I would like to know what you guys think. Post your comments down below. Let me know who you're rooting for the playoffs in the NBA or who you think should be the MVP of the league. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.